This is the first time we are on an intercity double-decker bus, and we are on the front seats of the top compartment. Traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Penang, referred worldwide as the Pearl of the Orient. I had booked the tickets about a month ago so that Sugu and me could get a very nice experience. A fun-filled, scenic joyride. We are on the North-South Toll Expressway. The view is really exhilarating. We got off the bus at the ferry terminal on mainland Butterworth.
Sejahtera dan ambil imbasan suhu sebelum ke kaunter. Sila kemukakan dan berikan kad pengenalan anda di kaunter tiket. Anda akan mendapat tiket komplementari dan seterusnya imbas tiket berkenaan untuk menaiki feri berlaju.
And we had to take a speedboat ferry from the mainland to Penang Island. Penang, here we come. While I will be going on an offshore fishing trip, Sugu will spend time holidaying with my sister's family who live in Penang. The night before my offshore fishing trip, netting for live baits at the shores of Teluk Bahang, situated just past Batu Feringhi, where holidaymakers come together to enjoy the white sandy beaches. These are our trip group members with some of our catch. Come, let's go and see how the journey was. On rough seas, offshore, from the island of Penang, in the Straits of Malacca, 8 of us came together for this trip. The large fishing trawler, which we would be using for the trip, could not be brought near to the shore. We used a small boat to transfer our belongings and our tackle. While trying to do so, in our anxiety, every one of us failed to realize that the sea was getting rougher. Me and another buddy of mine were the last ones to go on the small boat transfer trip. I held on to my buddy who was squatting with one hand and used my other hand to shoot this video.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
By this time the waves were very rough and choppy. It is at this point here, just after I offed my camera and kept it, I got off balance and dropped into the sea. Within seconds, my friends pulled me up, and off we went, riding the rough, choppy waves. Come, say hello to our captain. We fondly addressed him Tekong Asing. Very experienced and friendly. One of our anxious group members, seen here getting ready and setting up his tackle. Our attempts at trawling for Spanish mackerel or any other fish was not that successful. The sea was not kind to us. It was really rough and choppy. You can see few of the other mates went on for a short nap due to the rocking status of the boat. Night fishing was also not that productive, even though the sea was not that rough and choppy anymore. Due to the very fast and swift undercurrent, all the rigs were getting entangled in the anchor rope. The captain had a rough time readjusting the anchor ropes. As the sea was calmer now, I thought it was a bit more appropriate for me to do some night mabaru fishing. So I brought out my Daiwa Gekkabijin BFS TWPE special. Anyway, this was the main reason I had joined this trip. This happens to be the first saltwater friendly BFS reel manufactured by Daiwa. If you are interested, I've done a review of this reel. The link is in the description. I didn't have any success attempting night mabaru fishing, but I managed to hook up a rock barramundi on the Daiwa Tanakom 1000, good-sized snapper locally known as Jenahak. When daylight broke, Asing volunteered to clean and cut the snapper, as I was having some backache problem due to the fall I had in the sea earlier. I couldn't squat down to cut and clean the fish. It was really very kind of him. Asing had earlier given lessons to one of our group members on how to maneuver the boat. Our young apprentice Yakisan maneuvered the boat very confidently. He had earlier guided one of our members on how to maneuver the boat. On the boat, it was a bachelor's kitchen. But there was a large wok, big enough to prepare stew for at least about 10 to 15 people. Everyone aboard enjoyed the lunch treat. Plate full of hot steaming white rice, smothered with ladlefuls of thick fish stew and juicy pieces of rock barramundi, along with traditional style long beans stir-fried with coconut cream. Soft and juicy, sweet tasting freshness from the sea directly to the wok. A distinctive privilege only anglers can enjoy. This grunter bream, locally known as Ikan Garut, got hooked up as my trophy of the trip. Overall, it was a jolly good trip. Surprisingly, the Daiwa Gekkabijin TWPE special exceeded my expectations in the offshore waters, winching fish up with its tiny 28 mm diameter finesse pool from depths averaging 80 meters with only about 120 meters of 3-pound PE line. That afternoon, after lunch, the Daiwa Gekkabijin TWPE special proved its worth in my endurance test, winching up trophies on my homemade Apollo jig from depths averaging 80 meters. Kudos to the engineers at Daiwa R&D. My wait for a T-wing saltwater BFS reel for more than 10 years since Daiwa introduced its first T-wing casting reel paid off dividends. On the bus back to Kuala Lumpur, our niece Mala Ayyar sending us off. Gonna miss her badly. Such a loving and caring girl.